Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Denver for the sixth race in the 2020 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series. We're gearing up for 44 laps of action in the third race of the West Coast Swing. This is only the second race in Cup Series history at this racetrack. The Denver Roval configuration that was used in a Denver doubleheader last season is not returning this season, but the oval is still on the schedule. Go over a brief history. It was a rookie front row last year. This year it is a veteran front row as Kev Shearer and Nate Rogers sit on the pole position. Seth Cole, Quinton Moore in row 2 with James Shelley and Alex Gray in row 3. Adam Flickinger and Peter Onjak, a pair of rookies, in row 4 with Nico Tringali and Logan York in row 5. As you can see, the cars are placed on the apron, or stationed on the apron, I should say, as they'll get ready to go fire up the engines in under 2 minutes. Let's take a look first at the point standings. Gardner still your points leader, 23 points over Jeff Toledo. Third in the points now is Samet Oskin. Fourth, Jose Mills, as Alex Gray falls down to fifth. Tyler Markle is up to sixth. Ryan Brommer up to seventh. Kukulon down to 8th, Rowe up to ninth, and Logan York has fallen down to 10th in the point standings. Winners outside the top 10 in points, Tyler Fink back up to 15th. Dylan Young skyrockets to 19th with his first career victory last week at Auto Club. Seth Cole rises up to 21st, while Jessica Shelton falls to 25th. So those four winners are currently in the 16-driver playoff grid. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and Austin Colano are the first two just in on points, as the point situation remains close for all competitors. Last year's race saw Johnny Gardner win in a one-caution affair. That was a 53-lap event. This year it is just 44 laps. Gardner won that race by 1.8 seconds over DJ Curtis, who is no longer in the series. 40 of the 42 cars finished that race. There was an initial incident that brought out the yellow going into turn 1, and then there was an incident under the yellow that took out two drivers. What will we see here today from Denver? That is the big question. Cloudy conditions, 44 laps of action. Will they go green from start to finish, or will we have yet again a yellow flag race? As the command has been given, the drivers will pull off and double up here on the apron of turn 2. Kev Shearer's season has not gone well so far. After a breakout sophomore year, he sits 41st in the point standings with no top 10s to show for his current efforts. Out of 4 Hendrick drivers, he's the worst on the bill. Out of all the Hendrick drivers, Tyler Markle is the top driver on the bill. And excuse me, a couple other veteran drivers not doing so well either right now. Zorlin, 37th in the points. Andrew Rich, 34th. A season removed might be hurting Rich's performance that we saw, or reputation that we saw from his performance in 2018. Charles Sanford, 4-year veteran, 31st in points. Well, in his 4th year, I should say. Also currently outside the top 20, but just by a few positions, is Seth Cole and Cole Deaver. But here we are gearing up for 44 laps of action here. Next race is Texas. It's the final race of the West Coast Swing, but here today we're focusing on Denver. My Final Four prediction so far is looking pretty bad, but maybe that'll change here today. Green flag is out. It's a cloudy afternoon in the state of Colorado. Seth Cole got his first win of 2020 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas, and he moves up to second place behind Kev Shearer. Last two races, we've seen the pole sitter lead the first lap. Could that change today? Seth Cole all over the bumper of Kev Shearer through turns 3 and 4. As Nate Rogers positioning himself in line in third. They're coming to the start-finish line. Seth Cole makes a move, but it's Shearer who gets the first lap led, as you'll see speeds of over 205 miles an hour into turn 1. And Seth Cole powers by Shearer with ease on the straightaway, so Shearer perhaps not with a good race pace car. Or perhaps draft is pretty big here and the slingshot was engaged. Passing at Denver has been known to be difficult, but Seth Cole made it look very easy. And 2 laps in, it's Seth Cole leading at the start-finish line, looking to be the first 2-time winner on the season. Nate Rogers is third, Quinton Moore fourth, and Alex Gray rounding out the top 5 here on lap 3. James Shelley in 6th, Peter Onjak in 7th. Logan York will move up to 8th, passing Adam Flickinger. And the battle is on for 10th between Carter Friesen and Jose Mills. Samet Oskin finishing runner-up at Auto Club 1 week ago, sitting in 11th as Friesen has to lift. And there you saw the top line getting good momentum there off of turn 4 for Jose Mills. It is known to be difficult to make passes here at this track. The high line is known to be strong in turns 3 and 4. The bottom is basically even in 1 and 2, but again the top with the momentum off the high line. And Mills will hold on to 10th for now. Jonathan Zorlin, currently in 12th place, was in a wreck last week at Auto Club. His season has gone poorly so far. He is looking for what I believe would be his first top 10 on the season. No, never mind, he's got a top 10, but his results are not looking good. He's the lowest driver in points with a top 10. Corey Williams, a rookie, 2 positions above him with a top 10 of his own. As the fight continues here between Friesen and Mills for 10th place. Meanwhile, James Shelley is trying to pass Quinton Moore for 5th, as Onjak and Logan York close up from 7th and 8th. And along the high line, James Shelley will take 5th place away from Quinton Moore. Alex Gray had gotten by Moore a lap or 2 ago for 4th place. Seth Cole powered to the lead, but he has not driven away. Shearer and Nate Rogers still close on his tail. And now Gray joins the party in 4th place. Just biding their times. Fastest lap on the day goes to the 83, as Gray will move to his outside for 3rd. And now Nate Rogers with a pretty good move to the inside of Shearer, as Gray will look up top and make it 3 wide through the tri-oval. Nate Rogers with the advantage through the middle of 1 and 2. And Kev Shearer does not appear to have a good car when he's on the outside of someone. In the draft, he looks very good, but without the draft, it does not look like he's got a good car. And Gray will pass by him for 3rd. So now we'll see if Nate Rogers can catch up to Seth Cole and fight for a chance at the lead, as Alex Gray has been moving his way towards the front. Quinton Moore making a move on Shearer now for 4th place. Logan York up into 7th, making it by Peter Onjak. Mills is up to 9th, making it by Adam Flickinger, as Oskin continues to ride in 11th. Keith Rich up to 12th place. And father Andrew Rich with teammate Ace Rogers right behind them, 15th and 16th respectively. At the back of the field is last week's winner, Dylan Young, in 42nd. Alex Ferranti, who had a strong car last week, right there with him in 41st. Andrew Rich has not shown the speed we thought he would have so far at the speedways. We never went over it, but fastest in practice was Jose Mills, who started 11th. And fastest in happy hour was Ryan Brommer, who started 36th. There's a lot of fighting going on here just outside the top 10. As Adam Flickinger now falls out of the top 10. Sorlin will go by Keith Rich. That is for, I believe, 11th place, as Oskin now sits in 10th. Logan York has fallen back down to 9th. Mills up to 8th. Shearer down in 4th, trying to hold off James Shelley, but Shelley will get to his outside with a bit of a push from Quinton Moore there. Shelley looking to take 4th place, and I believe he got it done right there. Indeed he did. Quinton Moore will now go to the outside, and he'll take 5th place away as well. So Shearer now, after leading a lap and holding 2nd for a couple more, is going to start dipping towards the rear from the looks of things, as Alex Gray powers his way by Nate Rogers into turn 1. Gray was one of the most consistent drivers of 2019, and through 5 races in 2020, he sits once again near the top of the standings, 5th in points with a top 5 and 2 top 10s. His average finishing position is currently 14th. Second to Jose Mills at 13th, who is second to Gardner at 9th. Gray trying to hold on to 2nd place over Nate Rogers. We're a quarter of the way through the race. Seth Cole leads here on lap 12 of 44, and we'll be back at Denver after this quick commercial break. We're back at Denver, looking from the outside camera of Seth Cole as Alex Gray is looking for that position. But he can't quite get it. Meanwhile, Peter Onjak is trying to pass James Shelley for 4th place. Could we see another rookie winner in the 2020 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series? And now another big question is, what is the fuel looking like? Gray again to the outside of Seth Cole. Fall off is at 2 seconds already. And at the start finish line, I believe Alex Gray just led a lap, and yes he did. So Alex Gray to the lead there at the line. Looking at the rest of your top 10, Nate Rogers 3rd, Onjak 4th, Quinton Moore 5th, Shearer down to 6th, Andrew Rich up to 7th place, side by side with James Shelley, as Oskin and Mills are side by side for 9th. Zorlin is right there in 11th. And then it's a gap back to Carter Friesen in 12th. As Alex Gray will take the lead away from Seth Cole. So Seth Cole took the lead officially on lap 2, and Gray will take it here officially on lap 16. And now we'll see if anyone can pull away from the field. Gray looked like he had the car to beat, or a chance to beat, Seth Cole back at Vegas, but he couldn't get there after he and Shelley were stuck behind. Or no, he was in the way. He couldn't catch Seth Cole. I'm already getting things mixed up. Damn. But Gray currently in strong control of the lead here on lap 17 of 44. Now the big question will be, when will these drivers have to pit? If they have to pit before lap 22, the fuel strategy will be in play. However, if they don't, they will make it on one stop. And likely with how the fall off is looking, pitting later versus 1 lap later than 1 lap sooner is probably going to be the way to go. But Gray's got a strong lead right now. Nate Rogers second, Seth Cole holding on to third as Quinton Moore has moved up to fourth place. And Andrew Rich has been relegated to the back, stuck on the bottom as Zorlin fights side by side with Jose Mills. And never mind, here we go, pit stops already on lap 18. It's definitely going to be a two-stopper. Adam Flickinger is the first to stay out, as everyone will come down on lap 18. So then the fuel strategy will occur on the second stop. Alex Gray got into it with someone on pit road last week at Auto Club. Here's the scene if anything happens here at Denver. Nothing will. He's side by side with Nate Rogers for the lead. Jose Mills will come out right behind Seth Cole. Shearer will cut him off though. And the first three off is Gray, Nate Rogers, and Seth Cole. As Adam Flickinger leads the few stragglers who had stayed out. Ace Rogers, Austin Colano, Charles Sanford, Corey Williams, and Sebastian Kugelon stayed out on the racetrack for one extra lap. And that could turn into less fuel taken on their second pit stop, as these drivers are all likely 5 to 8 laps short on fuel. But Alex Gray is in the lead. Nate Rogers second, Seth Cole third out of the first group, Shearer fourth, Zorlin fifth, and so forth. Andrew Rich losing a ton of positions on pit stops. As they cycle it around, it will once again be Alex Gray in the lead as Austin Colano beats Adam Flickinger off pit road. Colano was en route to a great finish at Auto Club, but he was short on fuel and had the pit coming to two to go. Now we'll see what kind of strategy will work out better for this lead group. Pending, of course, we do not get a caution flag. That would change everything. As problems for Peter Onjak. He's in last place, and it appears there might have been a penalty for the 17 car. I'm unsure what that penalty would have been, but he has gone from top 5 to last place. And that is a very tough break for the Cup Series rookie. And actually, that doesn't even look like a penalty at all. He's only 22 seconds away from the lead, so maybe just some kind of issue for the 17 on pit road. But that hurts. Dylan Young still 41st now. Wes McCoy, Alex Ferranti, Jeff Toledo, all at the back of the field. So is Ryan Brommer, Cole Deaver, and many others. Johnny Gardner not doing so hot right now. Is at the line in a 4 wide craziness. He's in 27th. Remember, Gardner won this race a year ago, but it does not look like he'll get it again today. As we continue to move up through the running order, Andrew Rich falling back to 15th, but he's passed Adam Flickinger for 14th. Now it'll be interesting to see who has the better car, as Alex Gray currently leads Nate Rogers and Seth Cole. A big pack of cars behind them right here. As Austin Colano tries to make his way through the field. Zorlin in 4th, Friesen 5th. And here's the top 3. Seth Cole 3rd, Nate Rogers 2nd, and Alex Gray in the lead. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back with more racing here from Denver. We're back at Denver, 19 laps to go. So we are just in the fuel window now. Gray still leads over Nate Rogers and Seth Cole. And there is the rest of the field. led by Jonathan Zorlin in 4th. Colano up to 5th place, passing Carter Friesen. Priya McShane is in 7th. We haven't really talked about Priya at all this season, both in the Cup Series and the Truck Series. She sits 32nd in Cup points. Driving for Stuart Haas Racing, often overshadowed by second-year vet Ryan Brommer, but she'll pass Jonathan Zorlin and move up to 6th place, right in line behind Friesen and Colano, 2 other rookies in the Cup Series, but they are all 6+ seconds behind. Alex Gray. It's Quinton Moore looking to move past Zorlin as well for 7th place. James Shelley in 9th, and Keith Rich is just inside the top 10 over Kev Shearer. Sekuli is running currently in 12th. Adam Flickinger 13th. Andrew Rich up to 14th. As Tyler Markle rounds out the top 15. Ace Rogers 16th. Alexander Rowe 17th. Jose Mills 18th. Charles Sanford 19th. And Samet Oskin. That is your top 20. Battle for 21st between LJ Toledo and Nico Tringali, with Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in 23rd before we hit another 3-second gap back to Corey Williams in 24th, with Sebastian Kugelon and Johnny Gardner right behind them. Another 3-second gap back to Zach Rogers, where most of the rest of the field is running right now. From 38th place, Jesse Turner. There's a 2-second gap back to Wes McCoy, which is just him, Ferranti, and Dylan Young. And then there's Peter Onjak, well behind the field. But Alex Gray continues to lead 6 seconds over Austin Colano. Nate Rogers, Seth Cole, however, are right there on his bumper. And Rogers will move to the high side. That is the way to get a run on someone, but he did it poorly. And that will instead open the door for Seth Cole, who will use the draft of Alex Gray to move into 2nd place. And that is another 4 points on the board for Seth and 4 less for Nate Rogers. Nate had a bit of a breakout season in 2019 as he finished 5th in the playoff points, 11th in overall accumulation. He had 2 victories, 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s, with an average finish of 20th. Last season he had a win. Before that was in 2017. So Nate trying to get to victory lane for the first time this year, and for the first time for Audi, who is rumored to be leaving if they can't get a championship. And again, that is just a rumor. There is also a rumor the body style might change. But this, of course, is very, very early 2020 silly season news. And for the moment, we shall just focus on the present. We're coming to 13 laps to go. Pit stops occurred on lap 18 and 19, coming to 19 and coming to 20. Seth Cole making a move to the outside of Gray, can't quite get there. So in about 5 laps, we will see drivers come to pit road for the final time. And while we have been watching the top 3, Austin Colano has started cutting down that lead. 41.940 to a 41.890 by the 21 last time by. Friesen right behind in 5th. McShane 6th. Moore, Zorlin, Keith Rich, Shelley. That's the top 10. And the big question will be, who takes 4 tires, who takes 2 tires? Does anyone even strategize that deeply? They don't need a full tank of fuel at this point in the race. And as close as Seth Cole and Nate Rogers were, Gray has started to put a little bit of a gap between himself and the two drivers that have been chasing him all race. Fastest lap on the day goes to Rob Evans, a 40.422. He and Nate Rogers, the only two below a 40.5. Rest of the top 10 on the board: Peter Onjak, Seth Cole, James Shelley, Quinton Moore, Andrew Rich, Kev Shearer, Cole Deaver, and Alex Gray. And Seth Cole right back glued to the bumper of Alex Gray now after just one lap of being 2 car lengths back. Gray won 2 races in 2017 and just 1 race in 2018. He's looking to go back to victory lane here in 2020 after going winless in 2019. Seth Cole to the outside in the tri-oval. This is the closest Seth has gotten to getting back in the lead since he lost it. Colano and Friesen a solid 5.5 seconds back from the top 3 as the rest of the field begins to plummet down. And when will those final pit stops commence? And if you're someone behind the leaders, does pitting early and taking 4 tires help your cause? Again, fall off is at 2 seconds. Another big question could be, will any of the people here at the front of the top 3 pit on a different lap? Colano and Friesen gain again. Meanwhile, the battle is on for 6th as Keith Rich is now 8 seconds behind Alex Gray in 6th place, as that pack of cars continues to fall backwards from the leaders. We're on lap 36. Will this be the lap Gray comes down pit road? Seth Cole will make a move to his outside just in case. And no, it's Nate Rogers who will be the first one to dive down on lap 36. And who is that behind him? That's Carter Friesen. So Nate is the first one down pit road. Now what is the strategy call for the 83 team? Right side tires are up here at 8 to go. And that's it, just 2 right side tires. Zorlin was down, Jeff Toledo, Logan York, and Tyler Fink. As we come to 7 to go, Gray and Seth Cole will come to pit road. Austin Colano elects to stay out. Now let's see what Alex Gray and Seth Cole do. Their pit stalls are right next to each other. And Gray actually gives Seth Cole a bit of an opening. But I think Seth Cole's getting the better pit stop, but they've got a lot of traffic coming in behind them. This could get dicey. Gray will get out before Seth Cole by a decent margin. Oh, and Zach Rogers clipped the 72, but he got out of it. That was very close. But Quinton Moore and Cole Deaver get into it very hard right there. As Austin Colano will be one of the final ones down pit road here, coming to 6 to go. Charles Sanford had stayed out long time as well, as did Ace Rogers, Adam Flickinger, Corey Williams, and Sebastian Kugelon. Right side tires on for the 21 car as well, and just a little bit less fuel. There's Alex Gray. There's Nate Rogers. He gets by Seth Cole, but he's not any closer to Alex Gray. In fact, he's farther away. Six laps to go. There's Austin Colano. So Colano's strategy does not pay off as well as he would have thought. And it looks like he'll come out in 4th place. So Gray leads, Nate Rogers 2nd, Seth Cole in the 3rd, and Austin Colano will sit in 4th place. As Carter Friesen on the track in 5th, Zorland 6th, Keith Rich 7th, Quinton Moore 8th, Priya McShane in 9th, and Sanford looking to come out just in front of Alexander Rowe for 10th, but Rowe will get by the 03. As Sanford has to check up running the apron line that everyone runs when they come out of pit road. He'll lose a position to Sekuli as well. At 5 to go, will anything crazy happen now? Seth Cole by himself in 3rd as Nate Rogers is trying to track down Alex Gray. Gray looking for what would be his 4th career victory in the Digital Storm Cup Series. But Nate Rogers is catching him. That might just be the draft talking. But let's look at this lap time. 42.292 to a 1.22. And Nate Rogers is the only one closing on Gray due to that draft. But remember, Nate pit a lap sooner than Alex Gray as they're catching Dylan Young, who is without a hood, I'm presuming, from contact on pit road. He and Peter Onjek very far behind. And Young is over a 1.5 seconds slower than Alex Gray. If Gray is held up by Dylan Young, this could influence the outcome. Young going from winning the race a week ago to now what will be finishing last. But it looks like Gray will get to his inside with ease as Gray's right side tires are coming into play now. As Nate Rogers is going to have to try and pass Dylan Young. And that's going to hold up Nate Rogers tremendously, and that's probably going to do it unless something happens to the 33. Nate Rogers was unable to even get to the inside of Dylan Young. That's going to really hurt the 83. Coming to 2 laps to go. Nate Rogers will make it down to the inside of Dylan Young. But Nate losing only a 10th. I'm surprised it wasn't more. But a hurtful 10th at that. Top 10 remaining the same so far. As Nate Rogers trying to track down Alex Gray, 2 drivers with 3 career wins in the Cup Series, both looking for career win number 4. But it looks like Alex Gray is going to get this thing done. For those that don't recall, Gray got his first career win at Kansas in the inaugural season. Later winning at Daytona in the summer. And I'm failing to recall where he won in 2018. It was Richmond, I believe. It was the spring Richmond race, I believe, that Alex Gray was victorious in. But now, regardless, after 2 years of waiting, it's a winless streak broken after a very consistent 2019 season. And off of turn 4, it's going to be Alex Gray capturing his first win of the 2020 season as he wins here at Denver. And that is the 3rd win for Chevrolet in 2020, which equals out with Ford's current 3 wins. Nate Rogers ended up losing time there near the end. He'll get 2nd, Seth Cole 3rd. Austin Colano, a great effort after disappointment a week ago, in 4th. Carter Friesen 5th. Jonathan Zorland will get 6th, Keith Rich 7th, Quinton Moore 8th, Priya McShane 9th, and Charles Sanford rounds out the top 10. So we look at the rest of your finishing results. Andrew Rich in 11th. Go over some notables. James Shelley 17th. Kev Shear, your pole sitter, finishes 19th officially on the day. Johnny Gardner 22nd. Ryan Brommer and Jose Mills, the drivers who were fastest in practice and happy hour, get 30th and 31st. Jesse Turner's season continuing to go poorly. He finishes 33rd. As Daytona 500 winner Jessica Shelton finishes 39th. That will do it here for me from Denver, and I will see you guys in a week at Texas for the 7th race of the season.